The land management program at High Plains Environmental Center works to conserve, restore, and promote adaptive management strategies to promote high-quality wildlife habitat and ecosystem services. We strive to show and work with residents and developers along Colorado's Front Range that conservation stewardship isn't something that just happens in the high mountains of Rocky Mountain National Park, but right here in our urban corridors as well. It's actually an amazing restoration and conservation opportunity. We're never going to get the wide open prairie where the buffalo and native peoples roamed again, but that vision of an undisturbed, connected landscape really does drive me and a lot of my crew here. The High Plains, before any of us were here, must have been one of the most awe-inspiring landscapes to behold. These grassland systems were likely more important than we'll ever truly understand. We do know that restoring pockets of these native prairie systems bolsters a variety of bird and mammal species and pollinators like the charismatic and endangered monarch butterfly. Grasslands are also critical for carbon sequestration and building healthy soils. And to top it all off, these native systems are monumentally cheaper and less resource intensive to manage than traditional turf greenbelts. The Front Range is a unique ecological system where the High Plains meet the foothills of the Eastern Rockies. It's a semi-arid system where we only get 14 to 16 inches of rain annually. Water is a precious resource in this part of the world, and Colorado's peaks are the source for water for much of the western U.S., meaning that land use and landscaping decisions are important for sustainable water use practices. Despite these seemingly harsh conditions, an amazing amount of diversity in plant life surrounds us, and it's worth promoting these native communities wherever possible. We work with a variety of stakeholders across the Front Range, and through these partnerships, we can promote pockets of native plant populations throughout these urban areas we live, work, and play in. Having these pockets of native plant habitat is crucial to 21st century conservation, as these connected corridors of habitat are critical to wildlife to be able to meet all of their needs for food, water, and shelter. This is true for the scale of pollinators and even more so for our bird and mammal species we think of when we're imagining healthy, holistic ecosystem functions. Cutting off wildlife from these corridors is a leading issue of habitat loss, both in Colorado and globally. We see amazing wildlife in even the smallest pockets of open space, especially when they are designed to connect to other open spaces in a development. And those small spaces add up. We manage almost 500 acres of native open space in northern Colorado. The land management program at HPEC differs from traditional landscaping goals. We do still consider aesthetic appeal, but our main focus is creating a functional and healthy native ecosystem. We have many different tools to restore and maintain native habitats. We use seeding, irrigation, mowing, and herbicide to create self-sustaining and resilient native plant communities where there once was only bare soil or a carpet of weeds. Once those native ecosystems are established, our management efforts are significantly reduced and our management tools often mimic natural processes. Occasional mowing mimics grazing. We don't add supplemental fertilizer and instead rely on healthy soil to support the plants. In fact, management practices that don't align with native habitat function can damage the ecosystem. Additional fertilizer doesn't benefit native plants, which are adapted to very low nutrient environments, but it does encourage weeds to grow. Mowing native grass as regularly as you mow a lawn will eventually kill the native grass and replace it with weeds. We also consider wildlife in our management practices, leaving litter and twigs in place in the fall for insects, encouraging diverse plant communities, and protecting open space from human disturbance. Native open space benefits both people and our environment, and it is becoming more and more common to see native open space incorporated into development. But it requires different management strategies, different management goals, and different expectations from traditional ornamental landscaping. Our land management program is working to create and maintain native open space using ecologically appropriate strategies so that we can encourage more communities to incorporate this valuable resource into their communities. For more information, visit us at the High Plains Environmental Center or suburbitat.org.